Hi, this is Ashley from Technology from the Southfield Public Library, and I'm here doing a book chat about Raspberry Pis. If you're not familiar, Raspberry Pis are small and relatively inexpensive devices that you can use as a personal computer, and they're really a great way to get started on programming. We actually offer Raspberry Pi for beginner kits here at the library, which includes everything you need to get started using a Raspberry Pi as a personal computer. It also comes ready with software and games. If you're new to Raspberry Pi, we also have a virtual program called Raspberry Pi for Beginners. It's a great general overview of what Raspberry Pi is and what you can use it for. And you can find that on our YouTube channel and on our website. So if you're looking for a book to get you started on Raspberry Pis, we do have a lot of great books for beginners. And one of those books is Raspberry Pi Beginner's Guide by Ricardo Childress. And this one is a great overview of all of the components of a Raspberry Pi. It goes down to like the GPIO pins, and it also gives really great recommendations on accessories like the micro SD cards. It also gives examples of how you might use Raspberry Pi, for example, virtual assistant. So it helps get you motivated by thinking of projects. And it also offers a really good guide on how to set up the hardware and software for the Raspberry Pi. If you're familiar with the Raspberry Pi and you're looking more into programming, we have a lot of great books on getting started programming as well, including Programming the Raspberry Pi, Getting Started with Python by Simon Monk. So this one does offer a general overview of Raspberry Pis, but its main focus is Python and programming. So it goes over things like Python numbers and strings, lists and dictionaries, and a lot more. So if you're interested in creating graphical user interfaces and simple games like Hangman, this is a really great way to get started on your programming journey. If you're familiar with programming and you're looking for a new project, we have this great book called Beginning Robotics with Raspberry Pi and Arduino by Jeff Cicolani. So this is a great step-by-step guide for getting started with robotics, and it offers a great overview on why you might choose to use Raspberry Pi for robotics. It talks about both the drawbacks and the benefits, and how Arduino actually acts as a balance to any shortcomings that the Raspberry Pi has. I really like that this book doesn't require any sort of technical degree to understand, and it gives you a really good ways to look into other projects in the future. It lists a lot of different resources to get you started on other projects. So that's it for this episode of Book Chat, Raspberry Pi. If you have questions about our kits or Raspberry Pis in general, we'd love to hear from you, so please reach out. Wishing you well.